Hello world, my name is Tim Russell and welcome back to another daily game dev video. Today's topic is a response to yesterday's topic. Yesterday's topic was vanity metrics and how you're focusing on the wrong things. It was the biggest mistake you ever made in marketing. Well, it turns out I made some people angry. Comment section got a little messy. People were upset because Tim, you tell us what not to focus on, but tell us what to focus on. Today's video is we're talking about KPIs. This is something I covered in the past. I recommend you watch a video called 5 Marketing Concepts You Need to Know that I posted a couple years ago. Put the link up there. I was less camera friendly back then, but it's still a good video. I recommend you watch that. And watch yesterday's video first if you need understanding of where this video is coming from. So today we're talking about KPIs. What is a KPI? Key Performance Indicators. Yesterday we talked about vanity metrics. A vanity metric is a metric that people focus on that doesn't make sense to focus on because it doesn't mean anything, like Facebook likes or Twitter followers. Whereas a KPI is a performance indicator. It's a key performance indicator. It's the thing that matters most. It's the number that you can track that means something, right? So a couple of people asked in the comments section, like, what are some things we should focus on, right? If I'm trying to sell a video game, if I'm an indie game developer and I'm trying to sell a video game, what should I focus on? Well, in yesterday's video, I basically said sales, right? But it's not always that straightforward, especially when you are trying to launch a game, right? You haven't launched a game. You got to do marketing. What do you do? What do you do? How do you focus on? How do you tell if you're moving in the right direction? Well, I can't tell you how to do it all because it's a big topic. It's like, Tim, how do I build a car? It's like, well, what kind of car do you want to build? What tools do you have access to? Do you have, like, you know what I mean? There's 1,000 questions there. But what I can tell you is what I'm focusing on. I'm a solo developer. I'm trying to build a business in game dev. I'm trying to support myself solely by indie games, and I haven't been there yet. I haven't made enough money to do that, right? But that's my goal, is I'm trying to figure out how can I do this long term? How can I make enough money with my games to support myself? Because that's what I want. So given my goal, I can tell you what I'm doing and what my KPIs are. So for my business, currently, I have one game on Steam, and that game makes X amount of dollars per day or week or whatever, which I'll be releasing the revenue soon. And then I've got one game in the pipeline. I've got 2 games in the pipeline, but one that's coming out in August soon, Battleborn Tactics. And I'm working on Steam page. Steam page is going to be out. But I can tell you that my major metric, my major KPI for the launch of that game as marketing is going to be wish lists. It's coming on Steam. I'm going to do a Steam launch. I'm not going to do an itch launch like I did last year. I'm going to do a Steam launch first this time. We're going to see how that goes. I'm going to focus solely on wish lists. That's like 100% what I'm going to focus on. Now, how you get wish lists can be determined by various other things, right? So I said Twitter likes and Twitter follows don't matter, right? And Facebook likes don't matter and all this stuff. And that's true. They don't matter for sales. But what Facebook and Twitter and these platforms are good at is potentially promoting stuff, right? Like your Steam page to get wish lists. Now, here's the difference between the vanity metrics and the KPIs, and this is kind of what I was trying to explain, was that a large Twitter following, for example, can get you clicks to a Steam page, which can get you wish lists, which can get you sales, right? If that's part of your funnel, that's fine, because if your KPI is wish list, right? If that's what you're focusing on, that's the indicator that you're looking at for success. Then, and you understand that process, right? You have that whole process to find out. You know that, okay, my traffic generator is this. My conversion platform is this. It's Steam, right? Then, you know, my launch day, we're going to convert X amount of wish lists to sales, whatever. If you understand that whole process, it's okay to build a following on some of these platforms, but you got to pay attention to the numbers, right? The problem with the vanity metrics, like likes on Twitter or likes on Facebook, is that people think that that's the end game. They say, I did some marketing today because I gained 5 likes on Facebook, but that doesn't get you anywhere, right? That doesn't, on Facebook especially, it doesn't even mean that people see your shit. it like Facebook doesn't even care. They're just like, we're going to show whoever, whatever, based on our algorithm. Twitter, at least you generally see the content that you from someone you follow. Instagram too, but Instagram is, owned by Facebook. I haven't been on there in a while. Who knows? Maybe they have algorithms now. But it's about understanding the process and understanding which numbers get you the goal, right? So if your goal is sales, which if you run an indie game business, it should be, right? That's not selling out. There's nothing, shouldn't feel guilty about that. You shouldn't feel bad. That's like, yo, you need to survive. You need to eat, man. Like, sales are how you build a business. Sales are how you keep making games, okay? You need it. That should be the goal. And if it's not sales, that's fine too. You want to be a hobbyist? You want to just finish a game? Whatever. That's cool. Like, I understand it. But for me, it's sales, right? That doesn't mean I'm not passionate about game dev or any of that stuff. I am. I absolutely love game dev, but I want to make a living at it, right? So if your end goal is sales, then your KPIs are stuff that can lead to sales, right? If it's not sales directly, because we are in a weird business. Whereas like if I was selling supplements or I was selling some weird thing, I could have the product and I could sell it always, right? Like I could have the product already. But the way that creative projects and game dev kind of works is like you've got a long period where you don't have a product, and then you've got a product and you get a bunch of money, and then you got to go through that process again. So it's a little bit weird. So you do need KPIs that don't directly translate into sales before you have anything to sell, right? That doesn't mean you just sit there and don't do anything. Like, oh, well, I don't have anything to sell, so I can't do that. I personally, I think when I see people advertising or spending money on ads for Facebook likes or for Twitter followers or stuff like that, that's a little worrying to me, because one, like my first thought is like they're focusing on the wrong things. They're focusing on the vanity metrics, right? But two, they're actively spending money now, and they think that that's going to be a return. And the problem is like, especially like, let's just use Twitter for example, right? You should every tweet. By the way, I have Twitter up here. Let's take a look at this. Every tweet. Oh, hi. You could see me. Is it the hello? Let's take a look at this. My green screen is fucked up today. Well, welcome to this. So every tweet that you post has, if you click on it, it's got a little view tweet activity. Okay. And Twitter, something is technically wrong with Twitter. So we're just going to back up and pretend none of that ever happened. Okay. We're just going to like, you know what? Pretend the last 10 seconds didn't happen. That's you and me. That's between you and me. It didn't happen. But basically, if you click that button, view tweet activity, you can see how many people click your links, how many people see your tweet, all that stuff. And what you'll notice is the click-through rate on Twitter is super tiny, right? And you've got to look at everything every step of the way. So if I'm running ads to get Twitter followers, right? How many Twitter followers of mine see everything I post? It's like a tiny percentage. And then of how many people see my post, how many people click the link? It's like a tiny percentage. And out of how many people click the link, end up wishlisting the game, it's like a tiny percentage. And then out of how many people wishlist the game, buy the game, it's like a tiny percentage. You see what I'm getting at here? So if you are spending dollars buying followers, they have to go through that whole process. I can almost guarantee, I can't say because maybe there's some ad wizards out there, but having run ad campaigns, I can almost guarantee that you were losing money. I can almost guarantee, I can 99.9% guarantee that you are losing money if you are buying followers or Facebook likes. That's what I mean by vanity metrics. It doesn't make sense because it's too high in the funnel. Now, a post on Reddit. Making a GIF takes how long? If you spend a long time on it, maybe you take an hour or two. Make a good GIF, right? I've done that. When I got to the front page of Reddit, it took me 3-4 hours to write a good GIF and a good headline. I actually spent more time on the headline than the actual GIF. It took me a long time, but I got 28,000 upvotes or some crazy number like that. 28,000, right? So is Reddit upvotes a KPI? No. But what is a KPI is email subscribers. And I got thousands of email subscribers from doing that. And email subscribers, I have direct access to email. I can send them an email. I can follow up with them when new games come out. Everybody from Philophobia that was on that email list is on my email list now, and I'll continue to email them about future games, right? Email subscribers is a good KPI because it's someone's contact information that have asked you directly to, hey, I'm interested in your games, email me when there's more. Same thing with wish lists. I don't mean that vanity metrics can never convert to sales, because like things like engagement, right? When you post something on Twitter and a lot of people like it, right? Technically that doesn't convert to sales, but what it might indicate is engagement. It might indicate that, hey, people really like this thing that you're working on, right? It might indicate interest. So there are other values to find those things, but those are not key performance indicators of your business. And you have to be careful of looking at a number to make yourself feel good and looking at a number to actually figure out how much money you're going to make, to whether or not your indie game dev business is going to survive, right? So let's be real here. You want to focus on likes and follows and stuff? Cool, you can do that. But don't like lie to yourself and say this is somehow directly going to lead to sales. It doesn't. It doesn't. And if it does, it's such a tiny percentage. Realistically, it doesn't matter. You need to focus on what works, right? And you need to figure out what your KPIs are for your business. And honestly, you probably shouldn't listen to a dude on the internet, right? You got to do your own research. You got to figure out your own shit. That's part of this whole deal, is like experimentation, right? Just like you make a good game design by trying something, showing it to players, getting feedback, iterating. That's how you do good marketing, right? You find a number to track. You do something to increase that number. Did that number increase your sales? Yes or no? If not, forget it. If yes, keep doing it, right? It's a lot more complicated when you don't have a product to sell, and I understand that. And I'm doing my best to like share my marketing knowledge with the game dev community because of that. But you got to figure out what your KPIs are. Personally, if you're launching on Steam, I think wishlist is a really good KPI. I think email subscribers is a really good general KPI because it's people you can follow up with. And that's a whole nother video on how to manage an email list. But that's all I got for you today. I want to thank these people right here. Thank you for putting your name on this list. You guys help me keep doing what I'm doing. If you want your name on this list, you can head over to patreon.com/GameDevUnderground. If you want to help build, finish, and launch better games, there's a lot of stuff there to help you do that. But my name is Tim Roswick, and I would love to know what you think of this video. This was a little more rantier than usual, but I thought I would respond to some of the comments and talk about stuff that that is important. So my name is Tim Roswick. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.